Oh, maybe that's why. Can you hear me now, buddy? I think I had the thing turned down on the microphone. Maybe a little technical difficulty. It's weird too because I don't know if it's doing anything or not. Or whenever I go to look at the video later on, it's already the sound's already there. Here, I turn up the microphone. Let me put a chat. Yep. Okay. That. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. It's all teething pain. Something new we're doing or I'm doing. I guess kind of what I'll start kind of over then. With the video, it's new people getting into the hobby. Uh, what should they do to start? You know what I mean? Like what's good advice to give somebody? And I said there's like three kind of new players. There's a player coming from a whole different system, like 40K maybe, someone who's new completely to the hobby. And then there's just kind of like, oh, I know about this, we're gonna play it anyway. Or not gonna play it anyway, but kind of like, hey, this looks cool, let me try it. Um, so I like to ask them a few questions. Probably the biggest one is like, do you are you looking to actually play in tournaments? Are you more casual, or are you a collector? There's like another group of people who, like myself, if I'm playing a faction, I try to buy everything for two reasons, and I'll go over that later in the video. But like, kind of ask them what's your intentions. If you plan on doing a lot of tournaments, maybe you would try to steer them more in a competitive mindset, like more points efficient units. If they're more of the casual player, or hey, what's up, Kilt? Is there still no sound? Hold up here. We'll figure this out, boys. Hmm. What in the world? I have it turned up. Sorry for blowing into them. Oh, okay. Hmm. That's weird. Well, that's what I get for getting these Walmart uh Walmart camera and microphone. I get the one of them boom ones everyone has, like put like right here in my face. Um we got a little horde action. Um so kind of like ask the player what are they looking to do? Are you looking just to play very casual, maybe collect everything? Maybe I'm closer to my phone. Maybe collect or play everything, or are you looking to be more competitive? Like you plan on going to a lot of tournaments, play some higher end people, because it does kind of dictate getting into the hobby. If you're a casual player, you can get kind of any good starter, a couple units, and you're good to go. Collector like myself, you want to buy everything. You know what I mean? That way you have a good choice of units to play with, and or just have it. We're nerds, like have everything. But if you're a competitive player, yeah, maybe we'll tell you the most points efficient units to get. It's kind of hard, you know what I mean, and who to ask. I lean more on a casual side. As you know, I do like playing like high end competitive at times, like getting sweaty. I really do like it. But mostly I just like playing casual. You know what I mean? Like the hobby aspect is really good to me. Um that's why it's good, I feel, especially because we do a lot of Battlefront here. We do a lot of Warlord games. And I've been playing a lot of one page rules. Guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think of one page rules. I'm enjoying it. I've only got like maybe one game under my belt so far, but like reading it, the lore, I'm enjoying it. I pretty much bought a lot of the starter sets um, that are the Star Host and like the Robot League, like the Necron guys. I play lists that have a nice theme, even though they're not the best list, and that's kind of where I'm at. And that's more the casual player and myself. I think for a lot of new players, I like we are just mentioning, like one page rules and stuff like that, and Battlefront. I like pushing them towards those new starter boxes. A lot of times, Airborne. Me and Kilt's getting a game in tomorrow, hopefully, if stuff goes right. I'm getting a game in with Cave or not Cave Wolfman. I'm playing some Soviets and he's playing Israelis. But I like telling folks to go, hey, towards the starter boxes. A lot of times, really good value, depending on the companies. OPR is really good right now. Warlord, I feel some of the best starter boxes on the market, and Battlefront. They still have some really good ones. Um, the other part is when you're out talking to a player, because like every game we play, there's like always a horde faction and there's like more of an elite faction. Kind of what's that person's play style? If they're leaning more towards the horde aspect, like more chaff, you're gonna have to let them know up front. It might cost a little bit more, and maybe um, get some more games in underneath your belt, some smaller game systems. And that's kind of the bad part about Warsaw Pact for Team Yankee. Um, the armies usually honestly cost a lot. And I know I'm kind of a little bit rambling, but I know there's like 3D printing, and maybe we'll do a whole nother live stream about 3D printing. Like I have my own philosophy on it. My philosophy has changed a little bit. I'm still a big fan of 3D printing, but I don't think it's for everybody. And that's like a whole nother tangent. But like basically kind of gauge that new person's thing. And then if you have an extra army, let them borrow an army, get them playing into it. That's what I'm trying to do with like a lot of these newer players. Like, hey, I have this many factions for Bolt Action, Conflict 47. Get a couple games in with me. You know what I mean? Kind of see. And if you have a big collection, like here's how this faction kind of plays. Kind of like get their taste buds and get them a good taste. First taste always free, as everyone says. Um, that's what I try to do. Try to gauge people, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just frustrating in some ways because if you don't have that conversation with them and say like they want to be more casual player and they're talking to a competitive mindset player, what ends up happening is they buy all this stuff and they have no idea how to use it because it's high end. You know what I mean? Or if they're a really competitive player, it's kind of weird. Most competitive players will figure it out on their own. You know, what I mean, I know some guys will look at a game system and just know how to break it, and that's totally fine. I don't want to yuck your yum, but like, just be cognizant of that, especially if you're trying to grow a hobby. What ends up happening is like if you are a high end competitive player, you might scare folks away. That used to be a big thing in 40K back in the day. It's kind of a thing now too, somewhat. I've seen some people want to play some conflict and they'll just get seal clubbed and it just leaves a bad taste in their mouth. Um, and that's fine. Or it's not fine, but like I try to tell people kind of temper your expectations when you're playing with someone, especially if you're building the hobby. Um, who to listen to, honestly, it's it's rough because sometimes most folks will go to a store and they'll talk to the person behind the counter, and there's three things that can happen. That person has no idea because they're specialized in something else. Um, that person just trying to make a sale. They really don't care. Or that person's super knowledgeable and will help them out. And unfortunately, it's a crapshoot in certain hobby shops. Um, it's there's no right or wrong answer, but like I feel if you're trying to get into a new hobby personally, uh, go to the store, try to find out when it's played. A lot of people say get on a Discord. I don't know about you, maybe I'm old, but like I have a hard time trying to find other Discords unless someone gives me an invite. But try to go to a shop and kind of feel what's going on, like trying to talk to some people. Uh, or if you're that ambassador to the group, like I said, kind of ask the questions. Uh, is this your first war game? Have you ever played war games before? Um, and you'll kind of get the gauge of the person, like if they're more if they're more casual or if they're trying to be like high end. And it's weird too because some folks you can meet for the first time and just by looking at their list and talking to them, if they've only been around for a little bit, but yet they have like a really tuned out list, 9 times out of 10, they're competitive player leaning in. And you're right, Kilt. There is like Facebook groups online. That's what we made the Gamers Guild for, and then we've hooked to the Discord. And I think a lot of people see the Discord. It's still linked to Hey Meta War Game, but still West Point Gamers Guild Discord. I think some people go there and then they leave. And with the channel having some success, but like us with our schedules, it's hard for me trying to put together a dedicated part in the Discord or Discord dedicated to that. Because I feel like we don't have enough people flowing through there to justify it, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm getting a little cotton mouth. I'm gonna drink my adult beverage, which we are not sponsored by, but um yeah, Facebook groups, that's always a really good one. Discords. Um you'd be surprised of just talking to like different hobby shops if there is like you'll be able to find out really quickly if they have a community there. If they don't have the game you're playing, still kind of ask, you know what I mean? You'll be kind of surprised what will show what people show up and grab stuff. I know when I used to work for a hobby shop, um, I used to sell 40K stuff. It's wild. You'd have some people come in and they'd buy a bunch of 40K, never come to a shop and ever play a game. They played in their basement or their garage with a bunch of buddies, and that was it. Like no events, no tournaments. They were strictly garage hammer guys. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Um, and like in fact, like um, unfortunately, because of some of the historical games we play, Norm Shop doesn't have a good venue to play at. We play at the church, but like it's every so often with scheduling. But for a lot of us, we have to either play in my basement, the dungeon, or you have to travel to the Berg. You know what I mean? Which can be kind of tedious at times. You know what I mean? Because like for me, because of traffic and everything, it's like an hour and a half, hour 20, depending. It's kind of an all day affair because you want to go to a certain time to beat traffic. Uh, it's kind of like what I was kind of going on and like I said, like this came up and I want to try to like put it out there in a video. I think what I'm going to do for the next one, I'm going to write a little script like, maybe go over this because before my buddy came, I was painting up some terrain and like sorting stuff around the house. I think I kind of rambled a little bit. Like you said, I'm still trying to gauge this. And then we've talked with Murderer Crows. I know the Kilt, the Cleric. Try to maybe do some sort of like split screen video conference. I don't know if it'll be live though, but like try to like have like a recording of us just talking about stuff, and then we can put a video up. The reason I like these is there's really no editing, but I kind of like trying to follow a path. Um, I know I see we keep bumping up down. We had like 4 people at one point. Um, the guys in the chat, what kind of advice do you guys want to give for like what you would tell someone new coming into any hobby, whether that be 40K, which I don't know why I would, but like anything like that, like how to like get started, a good starting point, um, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because like so there's I know I'm probably missing a lot of good like pointers to like bring people in because like as they would say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know, I never skinned a cat before, but you know, hey, I've ate a cat before, which like that was in international waters, so that was legal at that point. Let's see. I guess while you guys are kind of thinking of some stuff, I do some other news. Heavy Metal Con is next month. It's the September 12th at American Legion Post 982 over there by Lake Trobe. Uh, on the Facebook group, I have it shared everywhere. I think what I'll do whenever I get a chance after this video, I'll put a link in the description anyone local or in Western PA or wherever wants to come on out. We still have a few spots left. Well, as of now, it says a few spots left. We'll see if everyone shows up. For the Conflict 47 tournament, 1,500 points, no special characters, no list restrictions. Bolt action, it's 1,250. No, 1,300. Bolt action is 1,300. Um, I think the only restriction, the two restrictions are, I think it's 20 dice in the bag, which means you can have more than 20, but 20 dice total. And your any officer you have has to be the veteran equal to or one higher than the majority of your units. So, for instance, if you have regulars, like regular guys in a platoon, then your officer has to be regular or a veteran. And the other real big thing for that event is instead of the rifle platoon being the core, you can substitute it for a engineer platoon or a recce platoon, which means you can have the recce platoon being your primary, and then everything follows off of that. It should be a good time. The catering's done. It sounds like I have, excuse me, Winners coming from Winners RPG. Winner does RPGs. He's gonna be doing an RPG there, like a one shot, which is kind of cool. The catering's kind of set up. Then we'll have two vendors actually. One guy's name's Mike. He's recommended by Winners. He's going to set up a booth, and then Howard West. He's going to have some Battlefront stuff for sale. So we're gonna have a couple vendors. We'll see how this event goes. I'm hoping it does well. We're on track to at least hopefully break even. Like I said, we're trying to get to go more, but like I think going forward for the next con, we're just going to pick one system. Like instead of me doing two tournaments, even though they're kind of staggered on their start times, it'll be a lot easier to me to have like a ringer and volunteers. So like maybe next year it'll be bolt action, but I'm kind of leaning more towards conflict. And the reason I even say that is there's such a plethora of bolt action tournaments in our local area. I feel conflict doesn't have a good niche yet, and we can definitely do that. What did Bucky say? Before you jump feet first, look for the rules list building materials, etc., i.e., forces for Team Yankee. Look at groups and podcasts about the game. Also, like Shoot and Scoot. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions. Those are very good points. Try to find some podcasts. It's the only bad part about podcasts. A lot of times is you'll type in Bold Action Team Yankee, and because it's named after a book, you'll get like podcasts about literature or whatnot. But definitely ask around, try to find something. There's a lot of good shows out there, podcasts. Um, like Tabletop Tommies, I like them guys. Juggalo, not Juggalo. That just happened actually. Um, Juggernaut podcast. Snafu, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely ask around. Don't be afraid. But it's one thing I've found out though. Us nerds are definitely some of us. What's that? Introverts. Some of us are definitely introverts. So getting people to come out and ask kind of stuff's kind of hard sometimes. Or I've seen this at times. You'll be sitting there with your boys playing a game at the shop, and a brand new person comes in, just sits down, and you all kind of like look at each other like, "Who's this guy?" It kind of feels like you're in kindergarten together, first grade, like, whoa, there's a new person, whoa, whoa. And then trying to get that ice to break is the big hang up at that point. Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to ask. Look around. Um, I think the other thing is too, as us as hobbies, and I'm guilty of this. We haven't done it in a while. We used to have a lot of like learn to plays. You know what I mean? Like a day where everyone meets up and learns how to play. Like September 19th, the weekend after Heavy Metal Con, I'm running an event for Ligonier guys, and I'm doing OPR learn to plays and some other stuff. So we'll hopefully have some guys come out for that. Uh, yeah, definitely don't be afraid to ask. Um, and it's It's goofy too because like I feel a lot of companies right now. Actually, I take that back. One big company, they really care to competitive play. Another company, Battlefront, it's weird. They do some competitive play, but they're still at the end of the day like really like they're bringing in the Falklands War, that kind of stuff. They have Red Dawn, but I think sometimes what happens in those game systems, you have so many high end players, the entry to participate is super high. Like playing in Flames of War or Team Yankee, sometimes you're playing a high end player at an event. What ends up happening is you lose in deployment, or you can lose in this list construction. And it's really hard to break into that unless you really dedicate a lot of time and effort to it. Like I did that for a couple of years. It's not that I got burnt out. Some stuff happened. Some people know offline why I kind of stepped away from the scene for a little bit. Kind of disagreement about rules and how things were being handled. Hey, it is what it is. But I'm kind of getting back in. I'm getting that bug to push around 15 millimeter tanks. Falklands War looks really interesting. Um, like we're doing a Checkpoint Charlie event this weekend. Uh, turns out we have a nice number of people. And I have two other events planned we want to try to do, one of which is tanks only. So just literally heavy metal madness, we're going to call it. And literally no infantry, just tanks. We have to kind of play around this, see how it works. And I'll be honest, in our Discord, uh, the Kilt put up a thing about a campaign for Red Dawn. One year, forget when it was, at Fabricator Forge, we did a Red Dawn tournament. So it was Soviets, Cubans, Canadians, I think. Yeah, Canadians and Americans, and that was it. That was the entire event. And I tell you what, we had a blast playing that. Plus, it was kind of cool when you bring out your militia and you yell Wolverines once, like loud as fuck. It was a good time. But I like to do another like Red Dawn style event. Another one I want to do is like a oil wars, like a Middle Eastern war kind of a thing. I have an idea for that one to where your primary army has to be like either Iraqis, Americans, Syrians, Iranians, um, and Soviets. But if you want to play another faction, say Czechs, well, your primary has to be Iranians or Syrians, and then boom, you can have Czechs come in as a support company. Kind of focus it because it's kind of hard sometimes to like try to do a themed event and then tell like three quarters of NATO, especially with Nordic states now, three quarters of Warsaw. Sorry, you really can't play in this like Middle Eastern event, like the Falklands War. I'm really curious to see how that plays. Because like the British have like a commando force. They brought out the Challenger too. Is that right, Kilt? He's our Britophile here. Has a 25 gun. That's really big news. Like it's the same strength as a Hellfire missile. Like I think the Leclerc is a 23, if I'm not mistaken, or a 22 even. I'm not even sure, but it's crazy strong. But like, how many points is a tank? And are they going to have? They're probably going to have dramatic points right off the jump. So, Challenger 2 and Char 2 up armored. Oh, okay. So like, yeah, you have like two variants. Um, I'm just kind of curious to see how that plays out because yeah, I'm just kind of curious how it plays out. Right now, my Soviet list is a bunch of T80s, not shock, but regular T80s with BM33 company. So it's like seven T80s, like 9 or 10 BMP threes with infantry inside, plus upgrades for the VV432 and the Warrior to the IFD M113. I seen that. I think they're both resin and metal. I think the Warrior is, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just curious because in the Falklands War, it was a lot of light infantry. I think they had Scorpions, if I'm not mistaken, or some that other smaller armored tracked vehicle, but I don't think it actually saw combat. I think it was just kind of more of a support vehicle, and it didn't do much. It was mostly ground pounders fighting on the Falklands, minus the extensive naval and air battle, which I think a lot of people forget about how crazy that was. There was a cruiser sunk. Actually, I think a few British ships and destroyers were actually hit and sunk. And I know a few troop. I know for a few troop transports also. Like it was pretty crazy that conflict. Honestly, like when you look into it, because you almost had, for lack of a better term, peer on peer adversaries. Because at the time the Argentinians were really they sell a lot of conscripts, but they sell a lot of equipment, U.S. backed stuff like that. The Exeter missiles, Paras, and the CRT family vehicles, mostly dismounted heavy weapons. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Team Yankee's always been put out as a game of uh, big armored formations, but like there's a ton of infantry, and now they're doing a lot more dismount artillery and stuff, which is kind of cool. But then at the same notion, I'm just kind of like I don't know. It's interesting. Um, I think if you're going to have dismount artillery, like artillery and mortars, kind of like they do for, I think, the Finns and a couple other ones, including like the VDV and stuff, they come with a transport as well, even though they're dismounted, like a transport to move them around with. Like you can do it with like the field pieces, like a towed version, like a truck to tow them, and then they can dismount it. I don't know. Um, I'm curious to see because I feel like a lot of more of this dismount stuff really is more restaurant of Checkpoint Charlie. And I think they're still trying to put Checkpoint Charlie off as early war Team Yankee. I'm wondering if we're finally seeing late war Team Yankee, if that makes sense. Like, I guess the Gulf War into the 2000s, but then like you're really going to start doing some weird geopolitical stuff. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I still think we need a different version of the game, or not a version, but an updated edition. I also think we need what's what I'm looking for. I guess a smaller scale. Well, I guess there's a ton of it. A smaller scale, like 4 or 5 IFVs with troops. But there's so many other like larger scales. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I know this video is going pretty long. Challenger 2 was 1998. Yeah, and like so 3 years after Team Yankee takes place, which was what? No, not 95. When did Team Yankee take place? Wasn't it 85? Yeah, I think it was 85 is when Team Yankee takes place. So the Challenger is way past that scale, and they really haven't advanced the timeline too much in the game. It's all theoretical. Yeah, 85. That's what I was right. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I like that they're adding more stuff to it. I just wonder what's the payoff going to be. I know we're like way off in the weeds right now. Yes, yeah, I just kind of want to put my thoughts out there and like kind of like press the flesh, as it were, give my ideas. Um, I'm gonna try to live stream again next week. I'm not sure when. It's probably gonna be late. I'm off the rest of this week, but for work and the tournaments. I won't probably be able to live stream for another couple weeks, but I'm gonna try to like have more of a cohesive script to follow, an actual topic to really go into. So I feel like I rambled a little bit with this. I don't think I actually answered the question very well, unfortunately. Hey, this is my second one. Hell, I had messed up the volume on this damn thing. Now I kind of figured that out. Um, yeah, but I guess before we go, any final thoughts? I think there's one left person. I think that's you, Kilt. Any kind of final thoughts? Or I guess here's a question. What do you want to actually, maybe the next live stream we do will be a recap of Um, the Checkpoint Charlie tournament, Cold War Madness. What do you think of that, Kilt? Do you think that would be a good live stream? I feel like it might be a delay a little bit. And the worst part is, like, I think I put on here like a 1 minute. First, remember to have fun. I think it's going to be fun. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be a good time. I'm going to be a ringer if I need to be. I kind of hope I don't. But if I'm a ringer, I'll probably be playing last place each time. I gotta get some Ghost Warriors for my Japanese conflict army I want to paint up. But I think I'm gonna try to go over the event, kind of who won it, stuff like that. It looks like we're gonna have at least 10 or so players, almost maybe 8, um, which would be awesome. Like I said, I'm hoping that enough show up that I can just not have to play. I'll have my Americans, like tomorrow when we play, it'll be Americans and Americans. I'm gonna have mechanized Americans, basically just M60s with some not M60s, but mechanized infantry. Mostly because I have my Americans set up that way. I really didn't buy too much for Checkpoint Charlie. A lot of stuff that I want to run, um, I have to buy like stuff, like the M48s, things like that. Yeah, I think it's kind of my final thoughts. It's just weird being on here and just kind of like I try to keep all of our other videos pretty short, and this one's already like a half hour of me just kind of talking. But yeah, hopefully the next one I'll have actually have a more concise schedule. I'll have a banner behind me so you guys don't see the dojo, we even call my bedroom. Uh, any final thoughts there, Kilt? Clash of Steel 3-pack. Oof. Oof. I like Clash of Steel, but like I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just I play too many games is the problem. You know what I mean? People keep getting me to play Flames of War, and I'm finally have an idea what kind of Flames of War army I want to build, but there's so many fucking books. I like to do Africa, but like everyone wants to do mid war, late war. You know what I mean? Early war is a lot of people playing, but like I don't have any early war stuff. Class Steel 3 for your M48s. Is there a starter box that comes with a bunch of M48s maybe that I missed? Or you can run M48s in Clash of Steel as well as Checkpoint Charlie? Because I have a couple Soviet vehicles I picked up in a lot off of a guy. I think it has the M10. I think it's a Soviet equivalent. It's the predecessor to the T-54 55. I can see the early, mid, late teamwork. You're going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they're gunning for. So you have the early war, which brings in Checkpoint Charlie, Fate of a Nation, Nom. Um, I feel like the Falklands War is going to fall in the same category that is um, Red Dawn. The one thing I haven't seen yet, and I don't know if you probably attest to this, Kill, have they showed a book cover yet for the Falklands? Because I'm wondering if it's just going to be like a PDF book rule set, like how Checkpoint Charlie is. It's just literally a PDF because uh, because there's only two main aggressors in the Falklands: the Argentinians and the British. Like, I don't know. Or it could be very well a special scenario set. Would you write? The later box of Clash of Steel has M48s 103s, but they sell a pack of 3 tanks for most BMTs. See, and that's kind of the bad part. Like, I still think buying the regular M48. I think it comes in a 5-pack for like 55 or $60. It's going to be the new British book. Probably have a list for both sides, like the desert. Oh, you're right. In the back of Fate of a Nation, they had like American kind of stuff in the back of it, in the Soviet T-62 formation, if I'm not mistaken, the T-62 VMs or something. Would this be the third book for the British? Or yeah, this would be a third book for the British, wouldn't it? Because they had the British book, and then they had with Ironsides, I think was a book. So this would be the third British book, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because if that's the case, it's just me and you talking here, and anyone who watches it, it's a pretty long video. If the British are getting a third book, and I could be wrong on this, I wonder if they're going to revamp everyone. Yeah, British. Because I think everyone so far has 2 books. There was Warsaw Pact and Soviets. Then there was Red Banner, Soviets. There was Stripes and Americans. West Germany, I think's only ever had. Yeah, I think. I'm wondering if. Except yeah. Listen, I really was hoping for a new Oil War book, because you think about this: we had Oil Wars, which had the first Israelis, then we have the Israeli book itself proper. Maybe we're going to see a third book or 3 books for everybody. I'm kind of hoping if we see that, maybe we'll get a new FAQ, because our FAQ is from 2024, or dare I say it, maybe because we're in like 1.5 now, I would kind of say, for Team Yankee. Maybe we're going to get version 2 for Team Yankee. I feel like we're overdue for it. And with them now doing print on demand, print on demand unit cards, that would alleviate the whole problem of people bitching about having to buy new cards and disavowing cards. What's your thoughts, or Bucky, or the Kilt? Because like, they ought to do version 2 for Iraq, except for new tanks. Well, you know what they could do. Hear me out, because I've done a lot of research into the Iran-Iraq war, obviously Desert Storm, and then me actually being in Iraq. Long story short, there's still a ton of units and equipment that was actually in the Gulf War that the Iraqis and the Iranians don't have, because specifically that part in oil war they're in is literally the Iran-Iraq war. So at the tail end of that war, they start getting more equipment. I think they're getting all the Chinese 69s and 73s. Also, the Iraqis at that point were getting a bunch of the new T-72s, as well as the Line of Babylon, their version of the T-62 or 6 or 72. And they were starting to get a lot of BMP-2s in Iraq at the time. And I think the Iranians were still getting a good influx of equipment too, like from, I think, Czechoslovakia. No, Czechoslovakia sold to everybody, but I think they were too. What'd you say? I like the PDF formations easy to add, and you don't have to worry about a new book schedule. Nope. Also, with the change, it might be more NATO equipment for Iraq. Well, it's weird. It depends. If they're pushing the story arc forward, it would make sense that the Iraqis would be getting more NATO equipment because the conflict's heating up. But if they're going to like push deeper into the Desert Storm aspect of it, because now though, if you're going to give the Iraqis more NATO equipment, I think the problem's going to end up happening is you're starting to give them equipment that they never had. You know what I mean? Now they have it, but that's way different. But like the other part too, I think they need to do. They do need, I think, to give the Iraqis Republican Guard formations and Army formations, because they did actually 2 formations, and they were vastly different training, equipment, everything. Um, so you could, in theory, it would be like a red banner formation and like your typical army formation. I think they could definitely do that. Um, yeah, it's kind of exciting. Um, I do think the PDF would probably be a really good thing for a lot of stuff. But like I know you're like me in a lot of ways. I like having a physical book. I've always had, and now that they're including the codes in almost all the new books to give you the new formations and the print on demand part, I think is really good on them. Even if the book costs another $5 or $6 more, I'm curious to see what the trade off is, like how much they're going to lose in revenue giving you the code. But then again, like looking at the well, early war book was such a good value. I think it was like a $45 book maybe. But I gave you early war Brits, or war French, or war German. So you got three full armies in that. That is where command cards would be. Oof, oof. Now you're talking about some spicy hot takes. I've heard a lot of the Torment players say about they don't want command cards in Team Yankee because command cards in Flames change that game all over the fucking place. Like, I mean, you could do it. There's just a lot of variation. We should try to get you playing some Flames of War Brits, Kilt. Surprised you haven't done that yet. You know what I mean? This video is 45 minutes long. I don't think anyone's going to buy this, especially move, add, vet, stat cards. You could definitely do that. I think there's cards do that now, or they add like different skills and stuff. But like, I'll put it this way: there's a lot of high end players who do not like wild card units or mid war monsters. I've seen so many people opposed to it, and I've heard two reasons why. One of which they're not pointed correctly, kind of like the KV fives or whatever. It's like a boogeyman in Flames. And the other reason, though, well, they just weren't historically accurate units. And I kind of laugh because, like, we're playing miniature war games. There's a simulation. If you want to do a simulation for a war game, Hex Encounter, baby, that's what you do. If you want to play like a war game that's basically like Hollywood, like what we do now, play it that way. I got into a conversation with a guy once about Team Yankee and paint and realism and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, I was like, hey, you know what's really crazy? No, I can't say this now because I think we're on the cusp of it. But like, I'm like, guess what? World War III never happened. And that guy lost his mind. But yeah, we really went in the weeds on this one. I guess final thoughts. Last call, final thoughts. Kill. What do you think? I think next time I do the chat part two, because the chat's off to the side, I'm going to take and set it up to where it's not such a lag. Because I definitely put it up. I definitely set the chat up in such a way on the options that what's that called? It just doesn't delay, or I don't let posts go. I think I covered most of the important stuff. We went into weeds hardcore about everything. Um, but yeah, uh, I think next live stream is going to be hopefully next week sometime. I'll try to post on the thing that getting you guys know when, because my day is rotating and stuff like that. I am going to try to shoot for all my days off so I can do it kind of early, like 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That way, I'll catch more guys. I would try to do it earlier in the day, but like I don't know, guy. I might try to do it earlier in the day, but maybe I'll push it up to 8 o'clock instead or something like that. Maybe 8:30 or something like that. Probably 8 o'clock. But I think next live stream we're going to go over the Checkpoint Charlie tournament we're running this weekend. For any last calls, anyone sees this before then, it's going to be a guy. Excuse me, guy on the couch games or guy on the couch card shop in Monroeville. Just type in guy on the couch gaming. So far, we're going to have, it looks like maybe 8 to 10 players. It's $20. Unfortunately, the shop doesn't sell Battlefront products, but they are going to turn that into store credit. And they do have like cards and 40K and some other games there. I reached out to Battlefront and into their one of the other guys. He sent me a link where you can like put in your event, give them some info, and they might change prize support. I did that. I didn't hear back, but you know what? Hey, he got lost in the shuffle. Shoot and Scoot did give a thing a shout out. They or event a shout out, but they couldn't say Monroeville. It was like Monville, or I spelled it wrong. I probably spelled it wrong, honestly. Um, but yeah, next week's going to go over that. Some thoughts on it too, because we haven't played much Checkpoint Charlie. And I'm curious to see because we have a good mix of players. We have some casuals and some high end players coming. I'll kind of go over that. I think something else that I'm going to do as a policy because I'm going to be doing more of Team Yankee and Flames of War tournaments. Yes, you heard it right. I'm going to do some Flames of War tournaments, May as TO. But think I'm going to keep battle rankings. If we have 10 or more players, I will send the results in. But if it's below 10, I don't think I will. I know it's a controversial point, but I think that's what I'm going to do because honestly, to me, the juice isn't worth the squeeze at that point. That could be another video live stream topic, I think. The tenets of running just a narrative fun event versus a tournament, which is better, which draws more people. I think the answer will shock you. The answer won't shock you. All right, guys. I didn't think I was going to be on here for almost an hour talking. Thanks for everyone who stopped in. Thanks for letting me know that you guys couldn't hear me. Maybe some guys wear headphones. They'll be able to hear themselves. But all right, guys. I'm gonna get off here. I got some a little bit of stuff I'm gonna do around the house. Maybe play some more Thunder. Probably paint some miniatures or paint some more terrain. You know, my terrain's done. All right, guys. Till next time. I'm the Guild Master with Heavy Metal Wargaming. I gotta think of a new catchphrase. Seize the objective is kind of cool, but I think kind of corny. I think something else. I don't know. I'll think on it. All right, guys. Good night to everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you do happen to find this video and watch it to the end, thank you as much. It's a lot of rambling goes on. All right, guys. Have a good night. How do I? Oh.